Hey guys, welcome to Classic Sewing. Today we are doing a review on the Vevor 5000 industrial machine. And I'm doing this review because I know that many persons are considering whether or not they should get this machine. And so I hope that by the end of this video you will have a better idea as to whether you're gonna get it or not. Okay, if you have not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And I have other videos on this machine, so for those who think they may be lost when they get the machine, if they decide to get it, do not worry. I have videos that will help you with this machine. So let's get right into it. The first thing I want to speak about is when I unboxed this machine. The machine, it came in two boxes, so one for the machine itself and one box for the stand. The box for the stand is very long, about 2 inches thick, but very long. So hopefully your delivery driver will deliver it to your door. That's the easy part though. The tough part is the machine itself. It weighs over 70 pounds, so it's extremely heavy. Now, the overall look of the machine, as you can see, is very beautiful and it's very good quality. This whole area, the whole body here and here, the bed right here, it's all metal. This is a magnet that I have. It's highly magnetic, and it's a beautiful machine. That is my first impression of the machine. I can tell you for the stand, when I took out that leaflet, I would call it, it's one sheet of paper, that is the manual for the machine, and all it had were some pictures, about 12 or 14 pictures, and you were pretty much to look at the pictures and figure out how to put this thing together. So that is a pain. So every review that you have ever read on any website about the manual, they're all true. The only website that you're going to see great reviews is on Vevor's website themselves, because I believe that they manipulate the reviews. So when they asked me for a review, I made sure that I didn't do it. So for me, there was a missing pair of metal plates. I believe it was supposed to go somewhere in here. In the picture, it was there, but it didn't come in the box. I was back and forth with them for over 2 months. First, they sent the wrong thing, which was something that I had already. They sent me another pair of this, but I had that already. So what's happening here is that plate was to provide more support for the weight of the machine, and it would have gone somewhere inside here. But what I have done is to assemble the machine with this standing up there, and this is the screw that's holding the weight of the machine. I was worried that it will break one day, but somebody told me don't worry, it will not fall out. I didn't want to lower it below here, because then the machine would be very low. For me, I would have wanted it even an inch or an inch and a half higher, but it's fine. I'm living with it as it is. So that was the pain with the stand. Now the machine itself. Putting the machine or attaching it to the board, it takes a little while to figure it out, but it's not very difficult. Not as the stand. For the stand, you'd want to probably see how someone else's is set up to figure it out. But for this, you'll get some pieces of rubber things, like 4 of them, one here, one there. And you put them on the edge of this before you drop it in the bed and in the oil pan, I should say. So it's not very hard to figure out that part. There's a little thing that you need to screw onto the board. It's not a motor, but it's right there. You can just I have another video where I tell how many inches from the left side of how many inches from this end down that I have screwed it on, so you can watch that video and know exactly where you're going to place it. Okay, so that's the only thing that you're going to be attaching apart from the knee lift piece right here. You're just gonna put that on, so that's not difficult. Now this machine is very quiet, and this is because it uses a 550 watt servo motor. Persons have said, and even myself have said, oh, the machine doesn't come with a motor, because we don't see the motor here as we're accustomed to on other industrial machines. But as you can see, there is this piece of thing here that covers this whole area. So based on the speed at which this machine sews, we know it cannot function without a motor. So there is a motor, but they have strategically placed it inside of the machine, which I believe is beautiful. And yeah, it's very quiet. So it being quiet is as a result of the servo motor. If it was a clutch motor, then it would be way more noisy. So that is a great feature, the fact that it's very quiet. Now this machine weighs about 70 pounds. If I didn't mention it before, it's a little over 70 pounds. It's very heavy, so you may need help lifting it. For me, when I removed mine from the box, there was a little oil that was running. Oil came out on the outside, and so it was very slippery, so I had to get a piece of fabric and wrap around it to lift it high enough to place it on the table, because I was afraid, what if it slides out of my hand? So it was very slippery. And inside of the box, what can I say? Let me tell you what came inside of the box with the machine. There's a screwdriver and some little things that came along with it to help you with your setting up. The screws for the stand, they were not enough. I had to go to the hardware store to get some more. I think it was missing 2 or 3, so I just carried one and got some at the hardware store that looked just like it. So I can tell you that, be prepared for that. Now this machine stitches at 5,000 stitches per minute, which I believe is pretty fast, and it stitches very nicely. It is a straight stitch machine. It does not do any other type of stitch, and this is the selector for the length of the stitch, so you turn it left or right depending on how long or how short you want your stitches to be. It came with 2 bobbins and I think a pack of needle. What else should I say about this machine? What else came with it? Yeah, just that and a few screwdrivers. It also came with a bottle of oil, which I believe it lasts for a long time. Where I am, it's very dry, but the oil has remained at the same level, and it's about 10 months now, so that is good. But I'm not using the machine a lot either. I just thought that because the place was dry, that it would have somehow reduced a little, but it has remained at pretty much the same level. Now the needles for this machine, good luck with finding them. I was able to find on Amazon. The supplier that I found on Amazon, I had to buy about 8 packs of other needles in order to get one of that size that came with this. And the one that came with this is very tiny, and I was trying to get a bigger size, and even though the number is bigger, when it came, it was still very tiny. So if anybody gets this machine and you're able to get and you use some other needle that works with it, then that's great, because in the manual it says DB something. I'm not looking at the manual now, but that is useless to you. That's not going to help you. I took that to a store that knows all about these things. They said, no, that's not enough for the machine size. You need more than that. Or for the type of needle, they said, no, that's not enough for the type of needle. You need more than that. So that manual is almost useless. When it comes to the speed of the machine, I believe it's a little hard to control the speed of the machine. But at the same time, I still would recommend this machine to a beginner. Everything takes time to get used to. So with practice, you can get to the point where you can control the speed of this machine comfortably. The one thing that I can tell you that I do not like about the machine is how high the presser foot came, the standard height. It is not very high, but the knee lift will take it a few millimeters higher. So that's the one thing that I do not like. But the presser foot, it can always be raised if you want to take it higher by opening inside here, removing these black knobs here, and you can get inside there and raise the presser foot a little higher if you so desire. Now it has this plate here, but I have not messed with it because I do not trust the manual in terms of what it says each one will do when you change them. So what I've done is just to let it remain at whatever it is. I've never changed anything on it. Some persons, when you turn on your machine, you might see, oh gee, I don't remember, E, I think it's the letter E01, and the manual says that's for low voltage, but I've never had low voltage. It was there and it went away by itself. Now I have been using this machine I've had it 10 months, maybe I've used it for about 5 of those months, but I'm not using it every day. And I know that it's gonna last a very long time. It's a very sturdy, nice looking machine, I can tell you that. Now, in terms of the thread, now there's one thing that I find, I think it's me though, so I don't want you to be turned off or deterred by this. When I fill my bobbin and I insert it inside the bobbin holder and I fit it in the slot, sometimes I find that it's not inserted properly. I guess there is a trick to it, because the moment it's done properly, you can stitch all the way to the end of that bobbin and nothing ever goes wrong with the stitch. So sometimes I believe, to be on the safe side, if you want to make sure that your bobbin is inserted correctly when you're about to begin your stitches, just use the balance wheel and turn it to make a few stitches rather than pressing with that thing down there, because you could make a big blunder up top here if you have not inserted the bobbin properly. Okay, so always start out with your balance wheel for about 3 or 4 stitches. Once you do not feel the needle stopping on anything, then you know all is well, and you turn over that fabric and you see that your stitch is beautiful on the back as well as the front. So that is the only time that I've ever had any issue with any bad stitches. So I know once the bobbin is not properly inserted. Once your tension is in the right position and everything is in order, this machine stitches very beautifully. It only does straight stitches. It does not do zigzag or any other type of stitch, which is fine. I believe that for persons who just take sewing as a hobby, or even professionals, this machine is suitable for either type. So if you have your business and sewing is what you do, you can go ahead and get this machine. As I said, this machine is good for sewing canvas, light fabric, heavy fabric, leather, jeans, you name it, it will do it. You just know that when you're starting out with very thick material, you start out with your balance wheel and do not expect the machine to just be a super machine. Start out by moving your balance wheel. It will do multiple layers of chains, and it will do your leather if you're into leather. So here's my overall experience with this machine. Apart from the assembly of the stand and yes, the top, it took a while, I don't have any issues. Yes, I do not like the height of the presser foot there, and that is pretty much it. I find that no matter how much I tighten the knee lift, it keeps turning, it keeps shifting, you know, getting loose, but I just tighten it again. So that's the only thing, which is no issue at all. That is no issue at all. I see that these two, no matter how much you tighten them, you're gonna have to keep tightening them over time. They keep falling loose again. Just the two plates there that hold that piece together. So those are the little things that I see, but the overall operation of the machine is good. There is no issue there. When I look at the price and compare this to any other machine, I believe you couldn't lose from having this machine compared to a Juki. I don't know how heavy the work is that you may be doing, but you would not be disappointed by getting this machine. You're just going to be disappointed with customer service, and you're going to be disappointed with the assembly of the machine. Now, when it comes to getting parts for the machine, I don't know how much of a trouble I'm going to have there, and I do believe if that should come up at some point, you know, hopefully by then Vevor will be way better at customer service and things will not be as challenging as they may be right now. I realize that this machine is now available in many stores. When I bought this, it was only available on Vevor's website and Amazon. It's just that I chose to buy it straight from Vevor, you know, because I said whatever issue I could deal with them directly. Not that I couldn't with Amazon, but it didn't help. The issues were there and they were a challenge. So hopefully they will get their thing sorted out by then, if a time comes when I will need parts for this machine. But I believe you can go for many years with this machine, depending on how heavy your workload is that you will be using this machine to handle. So I hope now that I've made this video and you've seen it, that you will be able to better decide whether or not you're going to get this machine. Once you get over the assembly, you have pretty much gotten over the pain. That is where the pain and the stress is. After that, there is no issue with the machine. Until next time, thank you for watching. Happy sewing!